Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I wanted to make a somewhat quick video today, other than just doing one of my update videos. Today has been a little rough. Today's been rough on the diet. In particular, I've had a lot of tired and cravings, and it's really started to kick my butt today. But I wanted to make this video to just sort of talk about a few different things, kind of look at more of the ugly side of carnivore, especially the starting out. And just to preface as a quick note, you're going to see me through my videos, especially the beginning ones, doing a lot of ums and pauses and, stuff like that. I have a lot of brain fog going on. I've had it for quite some time. And, see, like right there, I do have editing software. I finally got some to where I could cut those videos. But for the first maybe 1 or 2 weeks, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to cut out those pauses. I'm not going to cut out that struggle with that brain fog. Majorly because I want to see the difference. I want to see the difference further down the line when things start to get better, when I start to improve, when I start to have that mental clarity that so many people talk about. I want to be able to see it myself when I look back in my videos, and I want you guys to be able to see it. A very authentic, legit change to me, to my brain. I don't want you to just see my face changing shape. I don't want you to see, more energy coming back into my videos. I want you to also be able to see me change mentally as a person. Hopefully, with more confidence and more capabilities to be able to actually just talk, because I love to talk. I really do. I love having conversations. I love being able to, talk about things that I'm passionate about and whatnot. And when I have to stop and pause, and I mean, one of the only things that I take pride in about myself is the ability to actually engage in conversation and have, full on thoughts. And for the past couple of years, let's be honest, I haven't been able to do that. And it's made me feel almost less than human to have some of the few things that I like about myself taken away from me because of me. Because I have a million different reasons why I would eat the way that I did, why I wouldn't exercise, just things that have brought me to this point. Maybe I'll get into them in a later video, maybe I won't, but just regardless of all those things, it's still me. It's still me. It's still my fault. It's still something that I have to live with and something that I have to fix, that I want to fix. And I'm going to. This is hopefully going to be the necessary tool that I need to get myself back on track. Now, with that being said and out of the way, like I said, I wanted to get back on here and make this video because the cravings have been super bad today. I've been kind of running full speed the last couple of days since the start of Carnivore, but today, for some reason, everything just hit. I don't know if it's maybe because I've managed to burn through all of my carbs. As some of you may know, some of you may not, the whole point to doing carnivore is to sort of starve your body of those carbs so that your body's pushed into a process called ketosis, where it starts to basically burn your fat as energy and produce ketones in your body. And that may very well be what's going on, but I have heard a lot of carnivores say that, it could also be because you don't have enough salt, because you don't have enough electrolytes, because you're not eating enough fat. You're not eating enough, period, which could very well be the case as well. The tricky thing about this diet is the fact that you do get satiated. You're not just eating what I call soft foods. Literally all of the overly processed and sugary foods that you have, they are all so soft. The first 2 days of me eating on this diet, in comparison to my regular diet, like, sorry if you hear noise in the background, there's trucks going by, but the comparison, like, my jaw was killing me by the second day because I'm not used to eating, meat like beef and whatnot, and trying to actually, like, chew it all and just have that be a regular part of my diet. I think my gums and my teeth are particularly weak because of that. But I mean, Obviously, I could just eat so much of the soft foods. uh, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Like, the difference is insane. But my body's craving those. It wants the carbs, it wants the sugars, it wants all this stuff, and they're everywhere. You can't scroll through YouTube, you can't watch TV, you can't, go outside. It's summer, so I got my neighbors all grilling up, and granted, that's a lot of meat, but there's also vegetables and skewers and all kinds of stuff. And I'm not saying stuff like vegetables are bad necessarily. I'm trying to approach this diet with a very open mindset. I still need just a little bit of convincing, as I'm sure a lot of people who start this diet do. I can watch all the videos, all the carnivores, everybody who posts and shows their success, their weight loss, their mental clarity, their, you know, functionality changes in everyday life, and it's still hard to believe, like, oh, that could be me. It's like listening to a business entrepreneur kind of talking about how they took themselves from rags to riches, and they're like, oh, you could do it too. If I can do it, so can you. Yeah, all right, yeah. But yeah, anyway, other things for today. I had talked about in one of my earlier update videos that my inflammation, especially in my right knee, had sort of disappeared. Well, it came back today. And that inflammation makes it very, very hard, as anybody who has it knows, to get up, to want to do things, to want to actually, you know, just go through the day. Even basic things like just cleaning my house. Like, eventually I do want to start exercising, but like Amanda from Carnivorous Me says in her videos, she's someone roughly around my weight, so I do watch a lot of her videos, though all the carnivores have really, really good points and whatnot that you could take from them, and eventually I will do a video kind of thanking and acknowledging each one of them that has had a hand in sort of helping to shape my views on the carnivore diet and encourage me to actually do it. But you'll see me like stop a lot and do that. This is another breathing thing. Before starting carnivore, let me talk about a positive real quick. Before starting carnivore, I would talk like this. I would talk a lot and get red in the face, kind of like what's happening now. And I'd have to stop because it's almost like my breath couldn't catch up, my body couldn't catch up to like all the talking I was trying to do. So it sort of would like stop in my chest, and I'd have to stop and cover my mouth. But the difference was, when I couldn't catch my breath then, I'd also have like bile and acid reflux coming up in my throat. I'd get into a coughing fit, which was incredibly embarrassing while trying to have, those conversations with friends or family or whatever. And now it's just kind of a pause and a breath and kind of regain my composure before I keep going. No acid reflux though, so that has been amazing. That has been a wonderful, wonderful change that has thankfully stuck around and not reappeared. There's also been, like I said, I've been very tired today. I woke up, and I woke up at 7:30 this morning and was probably back in bed by 10 a.m. And I slept until almost 4 in the afternoon. Now, that could just be sleep that my body needs because I've had restless sleep the last couple of nights. But more than likely, it is something like I'm not getting either enough food, enough electrolytes, or maybe enough fat. I'm not sure. I did actually post to one of my commenters. Thank you very, very much for the advice of, trying to bump up the electrolytes. I'm going to be using some Keto Chow electrolyte drops, and I'm going to be trying Element at some point. I'm not sponsored by either of those, obviously, but a lot of carnivores have had some success with them, so I'm going to try to actually, use them. If you see me looking over to the side a lot, I have a little cheat sheet to try to kind of keep me on track so I'm not just rambling off on tangents all the time. But anyway, committing to this diet is, oh my god. I know I'm not the only person on here that has done this diet and within the first week you are craving literally everything. For instance, I hate celery. I hate it. I can't stand it. I think it's one of the worst things ever. But on my previous attempt to do this diet, when I made it a full week, by the end of that week, I was joking with my roommate because she had a bag of celery in the fridge, and I was like, well, yeah, I don't like celery, but you're not eating it. That bag's looking rather unattended. I think I'll, I'd really like to actually have a piece or two, but it's just, carnivore makes you a completely different person, but I don't necessarily know if that's the person I want to be, one that likes celery. I don't know about that. But, I've always had a problem with committing to diets, period. If you are somebody who has tried to diet and you get within a week of it and you're not, I'm also very impatient. You're not seeing the results that you want. You're not seeing at least one clear, good enough sign that the diet is working for you. You have a hard time sticking to it. My two roommates, my poor roommates, I have put them through so much with this diet. Every time I want to do it, I'll talk to them. I'll be like, I felt really good at the end of that week of carnivore. I felt fantastic, and I'd go over all the benefits and all of it, and they'd finally be like, all right, we'll do the diet with you, we'll do it, let's just do it, and then we'd all decide to do it, go out, buy a bunch of groceries for it, get rid of or give away the stuff that we aren't going to eat. We have neighbors and a food bank, and we'd just give it all away. And then, like, 2 days into the diet, I'd be like, guys, it sounds really good, and they'd be like, oh god, here we go, and it was a never-ending cycle, because then I'd convince them, I'd sort of, it'd be one of us would literally start talking about some other food we weren't supposed to have, and then the other two would kind of cave to it, and then we'd all just sort of take advantage of each other's weaknesses like that. And then we'd beat off the diet, and then within, it'd feel good at first. It'd feel really good. It is not a joke when people say that sugar and carbs and all that stuff, it is a drug. It is a literal drug. It is. This is coming from a 312-pound person. It is a drug. Okay? Any overweight person that tells you that, oh no, it's fine, it doesn't do anything to you, all foods are good foods, and you just have to, use them in moderation, all this, I highly disagree. I disagree. And some people have had success on that. Some people can control themselves, and they can balance, they can kind of balance. But the thing is, even the people that balance on their diets, 6 out of the 7 days of the week, they're not eating stuff like fast food or, those soft foods that I talked about. But anyway, yeah, so my roommates and I, for the first couple of days, we'd be fine getting off this diet and eating our carbs and everything. We'd feel fine, and then all of the IBS would come back, the gas, oh my gosh, all the gas, all the irritability. Irritability was such a huge thing. And it would come back with a vengeance. And we'd, kind of be missing carnivore again, because it would feel good, and just even the first step of, like, the peace of your body, the peace your body would have, just not having that inflammation or the gas or just any of it. So this time we're really, really trying to dedicate, but today has been rough. It is only technically day 5 for us, but I imagine that the first couple of weeks are probably when the cravings are going to be the worst. I never expect them to 100% go away. To be honest, I think that even if we were to stick to this lifestyle for a couple of years, that that we'd still want things now and then, cakes or cookies or social event type foods or something, or you go to a restaurant and you don't necessarily want to be like, hey, can you only bring me a steak, leave the potatoes and the broccoli off. We're gonna want to do those things. And I think eventually that could be okay. If you get to the point where your body is stable enough to be able to enjoy those foods and maybe deal with any, like, of the consequences of eating them. Like, if I have one plate of meat, broccoli and potatoes, maybe I get a little gas, but then past that, I don't feel like I'm literally going to die. I don't have a completely restless night of sleep and just not be able to function as a person. Like, me putting myself in this position has literally robbed me of the ability to function as a normal person. I don't even know what a normal person is anymore. But I'm starting to wonder if carnivore literally gives you the ability to be what a normal person should be. um as for appetite and the macros, like I said earlier, this diet is very satiating. It can make it extremely difficult to eat enough food. Like right now, I said that I lean very, very heavily on Cornish game hens because I love chicken. I love chicken. And it makes it easy for me to get my fat because I eat the white meat, the dark meat, and then I add a decent pad of butter onto the top of it, and I eat all of the butter. So I kind of balance out because these hens have more protein than fat. So I, you know, add more fat to it. And then, of course, bacon and eggs and stuff. I haven't eaten that much beef yet because the 1 week that I did do carnivore, I made the mistake of only eating beef. And I can't do that. I can. Plus, I do not have a working oven right now. Your girl is literally running on 1 air fryer and 2 burners. That's all I got. So, air frying steaks is good, but after a little while, you definitely get sick of the taste of the same thing. I just recently got a grill, so I'm hoping that this will actually change it up. Steaks and burger meat. Burger meat was the other thing that I thought would be the easy to get your fat and protein ratios right, but I got so sick of it. So I'm gonna try to get more onto the beef. Now, Lily Kane, I believe is her name. I'm gonna look her up again, and she'll be in one of those future videos of me acknowledging the carnivores. But she actually broke down macros in a way that I understood when it came to fats versus protein and the ratios that you should be trying to shoot for and the math behind them and everything. And I'll do a separate video on that too in case that happens to help anybody like it helped me. I was finally able to get an idea of what I'm supposed to be eating, or in general what works for her and may in general work for other people. So far it's been working for me. I just sort of slid off a little bit. Like today, all I've eaten are like 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, 1 hen with the butter on it, and I don't think that's enough. Uh, Definitely haven't drank enough water today. So basically, the whole point of this video is just today's been a rough day, but I don't want to give up. I absolutely don't want to stop doing this, and it can be a little disheartening being an impatient person who is very, very desperate to help themselves, seeing a lot of other people having success, seeing them, already living that good life that I would love to get to, but at the same point, it's so encouraging. It's very encouraging. It's very motivating. I cannot tell you how many times today I have wanted to go out and get something that I'm not supposed to have, some of those soft foods. How many times I wanted to do that, but I've just instead hopped on my phone, opened up somebody's video. Thankfully, they post very frequently as well, so it's easy to just kind of get that motivation again, just watching their stuff. And, you kind of, I want to be part of the carnivore community. I do. And it would feel wrong to want so badly to do what they do to feel as good as they feel, and then give up on myself again. I don't want to give up on myself again. I don't want to give up this time. So thank you guys for listening. If you've watched through this video, maybe you can relate to some of the stuff that I've talked about. Maybe you could share some of your experiences or your difficulties that you've dealt with dieting, carnivore or otherwise, down in the comments. I would love to hear about it and hopefully show you some kind of support, and you could show me some if you'd like. Subscribe, like, comment, anything that you'd like to do. And I just appreciate you guys being here so much. Thank you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the update.